Hello everyone, welcome to Wide Open Adventures. It is a new month. It is October 1st, guys. Welcome to October, starting a whole brand new month. And of course, this is the month of Halloween. Our Halloween special is going to be amazing, guys. You're going to love it. But everything's going to be amazing this month because every video and every live and everything we do is in honor of and dedicated to Hunter McKee, my buddy, my best friend, my son, my world. Love him more than anything in the world. I want to ask that y'all that watch this video hit the like button in support of Hunter and put a purple heart at the end of your comment. Now this is going to be a little different story than what y'all have heard. I've saved it for the beginning of this month to support Hunter, and I think you're really going to find this story really interesting and different and a little bit eerie. So I do have a warning on this video. Let's get into it. The memory of that fateful evening still haunts me. It's etched into my mind like a scar that refuses to heal. Sarah and I had settled into our rural home, surrounded by dense woods, seeking solitude and nature's tranquility. We had built a life together, free from the chaos of the city living. Our children, Emily and James, brought joy and laughter to our little family. Mike, what I'm about to tell you happened to my family and is still going on. That evening we had finished dinner and we were relaxing on the porch, watching the stars twinkle to life. The night air was crisp, filled with the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers. We sat together, hands intertwined, lost in conversation. Our children were asleep upstairs, exhausted from a day of exploring the woods. Suddenly, Sarah's voice pierced the night air. "Something's out there," she yelled, her eyes fixed on the forest edge. I rushed to her side, and that's when I saw it. A towering, hairy figure looming in the shadows. Its presence seemed to darken the sky, casting an ominous glow over the peaceful evening. A sense of heaviness and darkness fell upon us. "Bigfoot," I whispered, my voice trembling. Sarah's eyes locked onto mine, filled with fear. "Get the kids," she screamed, her voice echoing through the night. I sprinted inside, grabbed Emily and James, and rushed back to Sarah. But when I rushed back downstairs, Sarah was gone. The creature's roar shook the ground beneath my feet, sending a terrible feeling right through the center of my heart. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. The authorities dismissed my claims, labeling it a bear attack. Damn them, Mike. But I knew better. I knew what I had saw. The image of that creature, it haunted me, and I had terrible night dreams about it. I scoured the woods, searching for any sign of Sarah. Every step I felt like an eternity. Every snap of a twig, every potential clue. I combed through the underbrush, hoping that the search team had missed something that I would find. My eyes scanning the forest floor for any hint of her presence. The silence was deafening, punctured only by the rustling of the leaves. One morning I stumbled upon the footprints, massive and deep, like nothing I'd ever seen before. My heart racing, I followed the tracks, hoping against hope that they would lead me to Sarah. The sun beat down on me, casting long shadows across the forest floor. As I walked, the footprints grew fresher, the earth more disturbed. I quickened my pace, my senses on high alert, and then I saw it. I saw a piece of hair. I took it to have it examined. It was an unknown piece of hair. They said they didn't know what it came from, is what the wildlife department kept telling me. A faint scent of lavender, though, wafted through the trees as I sat on the porch, transporting me back to our porch where Sarah and I had sat countless evenings. Her perfume. My heart skipped a beat as I followed the fragrance. A piece of torn fabric caught my attention. Sarah's favorite scarf, the one she wore on special occasions. Tears streamed down my face as I clutched the fabric, feeling her presence. But alongside the hope, an eerie feeling settled over me. The forest seemed to be watching, waiting. Every snap and every twig made me jump. Every rustle of the leaves was a potential threat. A night began to fall. I reluctantly returned to our empty home. Emily and James' faces haunted me, their eyes filled with question. "Where's Mom?" Emily asked, her voice trembling. "I'll find her, I promised," trying to sound convincing. James's eyes welled with tears. "Dad, what if—" And I stopped him in his tracks and I said, "No, son. We'll find her. We will never give up." But as I looked into their innocent faces, I couldn't help but shake the feeling that I might never find Sarah, that the forest had swallowed her whole. Weeks passed, but the searches yielded nothing. No sign of Sarah, no clue to her fate. The authorities finally closed the case, labeling it a mysterious disappearance. But I knew better. I knew what I saw. As the days went by, strange occurrences plagued our home. Creaks and groans echoed through the night, like someone was walking the floors. Lights flickered and the shadows danced on the walls. Emily and James began to act out, their eyes haunted by fear. I asked myself, what in the hell is going on in my house? And that's when one day I was told this that will bother me. "Dad, I saw Mom," Emily said one evening, her voice barely above a whisper. "Where?" I asked her. I asked with my heart was racing. "In the kitchen. She was smiling at me." James even nodded in agreement. "I saw her too, Dad, outside calling my name." I tried to reassure them, but deep down I wondered if they were telling the truth. Maybe they were just missing her. One night, as I tucked them in, I heard it too, a faint whisper, a soft call. "Emily, James." Goosebumps immediately all over my skin. "Who's there?" I yelled, but the voice disappeared into the darkness. I installed security cameras, hoping to capture evidence of the strange happenings. One footage showed a shadowy figure lurking outside Emily's window. Another captured a faint glowing light in the woods. The kids claimed they seemed less fascinated, and they were now feeling better, with the cameras up, feeling even safer. I began to feel like we were being watched, even when we were at home alone. Just a feeling of being watched. The doors creaked open by themselves, and objects moved on their own on occasion. I'd find Emily and James staring out the window, their eyes fixed on something invisible to me, but they could clearly see it. "Mom's coming," they'd say, their voices filled with conviction. But when I looked, there was no one there. As the nights wore on, the occurrences intensified. I'd hear Sarah's voice clear as day, calling out to the kids. I'd see her shadowy figure on the walls and in the shadows in the rooms and at the edges of our property, but I knew it was only my imagination. We were taking this too far and we needed a break. We were starting to hallucinate, I thought. And then one evening I stepped outside. Desperation etched on my face. "Sarah, if you're out here, please come back to us," I begged her. She was my best friend, my lover. The wind picked up. Rustling leaves started to blow around. A faint whisper replied, "I'm trying." My heart again almost stopped right there in my chest. "Sarah, where are you?" I screamed. But the voice vanished, leaving me with only one echo. The morning brought an eerie routine. I'd wake up to find strange objects left at our back door. Flowers, sticks, rocks, and nuts, always arranged neatly, as if presented as gifts. Pecans, walnuts, and hazelnuts lay scattered, like an offering from an unknown hand. I showed them to Emily and James, but they struggled, equally perplexed. "Dad, maybe it's Mom," Emily said, her eyes sparkled with hope. But how and why? The dogs chaining puzzled me too. Max, our loyal golden retriever, would be tied to the tree, unharmed but anxious in the mornings, as if someone or something wanted him out of the way. Whispers continued to drift through our nights, faint and sporadic. Emily or James, always soft, always unsettling. Sometimes I'd catch a word or two, but never a full sentence. Find or wait, what did they mean? Underneath our house, strange noises echoed. Scratching, scuttling, and creaking, like unseen hands, worked tirelessly. One night, determined to uncover the truth, I took a midnight vigil. Sitting at the back door, I waited, with my eyes scanning the darkness. The wind rustled, leaves and shadows danced. Suddenly a figure emerged from the trees, tall, imposing, and shrouded in darkness. I know y'all are going to make fun of me, but I did. I vomited. I was so scared. I did. I puked right there. The figure approached, its presence filling the air. A small, delicate hand extended, offering a gift, a single daisy. Sarah, I whispered. My voice was trembling. I didn't know what to say to this thing. It was right here. The figure vanished, leaving the flower and an unsettling feeling. The next morning, a piece of paper was laying at the door. It reminded me how she used to leave me notes when we dated. Again, sickness fell over me. Was it Sarah or something manipulating me? The message haunted me. What did it mean? The message said, wait, just a simple wait. But it was etched with a rock. You could tell it was made with a rock, like a black rock. And who was leaving these damn gifts at my house? Was it somebody being evil, teasing me and the kids that Sarah was gone? Was somebody really messing with us? And then my kids asked, Dad, can we please leave? Emily asked, her eyes welling with tears. They wanted to leave this house. James nodded vigorously. Yeah, Dad, this place is creepy. I knelt down, holding them close. I know it's hard, kids, but we can't leave Mom behind. I told them. We cannot leave your mother. What are you thinking? But, Dad, we haven't seen her in months, they kept telling me, Emily said, and her voice was trembling, and I told her, I said, I know, sweetie, but I feel in my heart Mom is coming back for you both. James looked up at me with his eyes filled with doubt. How do you even know, Dad? He asked me. And I told him, because I know your Mom, I replied. She never abandoned us. Something's keeping her away, but she'll come back. You watch and see. Emily's face scrunched up as she was mad at me. But what if something bad happened to her? That's when I took a deep breath and I began to get angry. We will find out, kids. But for now, we have to hold on to hope. This is our home, and we will not leave Sarah behind, my wife or your Mom. They were aggravated at me, and that night we all settled in. I felt an unusual calm, as if Sarah's presence was wrapped around us. The whispers grew louder, more urgent. Emily, James, they were louder. The kids clung to me, frightened. But I stood firm. Mom's trying to communicate with you, I reassured them. Go talk to your mother. But they were too afraid to talk back to her. I tried to push them toward the voices. They only cried and pushed back and hung on to me. Suddenly the light started flickering. The TV turned on, broadcasting an old home video that I'd been watching because I'd been missing Sarah. Sarah laughing and playing with the kids. Tears started streaming down my face. See, kids, Mom is still with us. She's letting us know she is still here, I told them. Emily and James smiled. Hope in their eyes was rekindled. Next morning I gathered my courage. Kids were going to stay and wait for Mom. My kids were fighting me to leave. They had saw something outside they did not like. They would never tell me what they seen, but they kept threatening to run away. And now I don't know what to do, Mike. I don't know what to do. The kids were finally had hope, and they were ready for their mother to come home. I even tried to get them to stick their hands out the back door into the darkness and let Mother touch their hands. But they don't want to do that. I told them she will only give them a flower, Mike. She won't hurt them. She's coming back for them. And I don't want to leave this house. I want to stay here so that when Sarah comes back for them, they'll be here right where she left them. But the kids just don't understand. Sarah just wants to touch them. I hold my hand outside the window at night as I lay in my bed and let her caress my hand and my fingers and run her fingernails up and down my arms, like how she used to scratch my arms at night when we would lay together. And I try to get the kids to do it, and they just won't do it. I don't know how to get them to do it, Mike. I'm lost for words. Does anybody out there know how to help me get my kids to trust Sarah once again so that she will come home and be with us all? Thank you for sharing my encounter. Fred. Well, I truly don't think Sarah's the one outside. And I think that if you keep your children there and you continue to do what you're doing, you're putting your children at risk. I wouldn't be sticking my hands outside at night for nothing to be playing with my arm or my hand. I think y'all need to probably leave that house for a while. Focus your mind on something else. That might be a bad place right now. There might be a bad presence there. Something's definitely going on. And I think that you and the kids, maybe need to go talk to somebody you can trust. And if you don't have somebody you trust, maybe even talk to a counselor or somebody like that. But something's definitely going on. This is a sad and, I'll admit, scary story to me. So I hope that y'all are able to figure this out. And if you listen to this, update me on how y'all are doing. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this. Don't forget to keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. Smash the like button for Hunter. Give us a purple heart, guys. Welcome to October. We'll see you on the next one.